John Titor, time traveler or hoax. In the annals of internet lore, a mysterious figure emerged in the early 2000s, claiming to be a time traveler from the year 2036. His name was John Titor, and his journey into the past captured the imaginations of many, sparking debates about the nature of time, alternate realities, and the thin line between fact and fiction. Act 1. Arrival of John Titor, 2000 to 2001. In the twilight of the year 2000, a cryptic presence manifested on internet forums, sparking a whirlwind of speculation that would transcend time itself. This elusive figure introduced himself as John Titor, a purported military time traveler from the year 2036, arriving with a mission to retrieve a specific computer, the IBM 5100, from the past. As the cyber age denizens grappled with skepticism and intrigue, the legend of John Titor began its journey through the virtual corridors of the early internet. Titor's narrative unfolded across various forums, with his accounts detailed and vivid. He described a future marked by chaos, geopolitical upheavals, and a fractured United States. His reason for venturing into the past was ostensibly linked to a need for the IBM 5100, a device he claimed could avert future technological disasters. The threads and conversations on these forums became a digital tapestry woven with claims of time travel technology, impending societal collapse, and the convergence of divergent timelines. Internet users, both fascinated and skeptical, engaged in discussions with Titor, probing for more details about his mission and the nature of time travel. His articulate responses, steeped in military jargon and technical terminology, lent an air of authenticity to his persona. Titor's engagement with the online community was not merely a monologue, but a dynamic dialogue, captivating those who stumbled upon his virtual revelations. As Titor narrated his journey, he provided intricate details about the mechanics of his time machine, a 1987 Chevrolet Corvette converted into a time-traveling device. According to his accounts, the heart of this temporal vehicle consisted of dual micro-singularities, creating a gravitational field that manipulated time. The fusion of futuristic technology with the familiarity of a conventional automobile fueled the imaginations of those following the unfolding saga. The responses from the online community were varied. Some embraced Titor's narrative with open minds, relishing the prospect of communicating with a time traveler. Others, however, approached the revelations with a healthy dose of skepticism, questioning the feasibility of the technology described and the veracity of the events foretold. The digital landscape became a battleground of ideas, with believers and skeptics engaging in a virtual tug-of-war over the authenticity of John Titor's claims. The internet, already a burgeoning hub of information and disinformation, became the stage for a unique kind of performance art, one where the protagonist was simultaneously a time traveler and an enigma. Titor's presence transcended the screen, seeping into the collective consciousness of a generation navigating the cusp of the 21st century. As the year 2001 dawned, the legend of John Titor continued to grow. His predictions about future events, his vivid descriptions of time travel technology, and his engagement with the online community set the stage for a narrative that would leave an indelible mark on the digital folklore of the early internet. Little did the cybernauts of the time realize that the arrival of John Titor was not merely a story. It was the initiation of a journey through the labyrinth of time, a journey that would continue to captivate minds and spark debates in the years to come. Act 2. Predictions and Prophecies, 2001 to 2005. As the early 2000s unfolded, the online odyssey of John Titor delved into a realm that blurred the boundaries between prophecy and conjecture. Titor, the supposed time traveler from the year 2036, wove a tapestry of predictions that left the internet community both awestruck and skeptical. This act of the Titor saga became a mesmerizing chapter in the evolving narrative, as his words seemed to ripple through time itself. Among Titor's most discussed prophecies was his prediction of a fractured United States, mired in a second civil war. He painted a bleak picture of a nation torn apart by ideological conflicts and governmental breakdown. While the specifics of his predictions were often veiled in ambiguity, the thematic resonance with contemporary geopolitical tensions added an unsettling layer to the unfolding drama. Titor's insights extended beyond political turmoil. He hinted at societal shifts, technological advancements, and the consequences of unchecked scientific experimentation. His musings on the divergence of timelines and the existence of alternate realities fueled a speculative fervor, prompting enthusiasts to contemplate the interconnectedness of past, present, and future. The unpredictability of Titor's predictions generated a dichotomy of responses within the online community. Some hailed him as a prescient oracle, pointing to perceived alignments between his foretold events and real-world occurrences. Others, however, dismissed his prophecies as vague and open to interpretation, attributing any apparent connections to mere coincidence. The narrative complexity heightened as Titor responded to questions about his own timeline, providing glimpses into the intricacies of the future he claimed to inhabit. His discussions touched on the socio-political landscape, the impact of scientific advancements, and the concept of divergence, the idea that choices made in the past could lead to the creation of alternate timelines. Meanwhile, skeptics and critics intensified their scrutiny, demanding concrete evidence to substantiate Titor's claims. The absence of verifiable proof fueled doubt, leading to a growing consensus that the entire saga might be an elaborate hoax. The divide between believers and skeptics deepened, creating a rift that mirrored the very societal fractures Titor described in his predictions. The allure of John Titor extended beyond the confines of online forums. His story seeped into mainstream media, with journalists and enthusiasts alike grappling with the question of authenticity. Documentaries, articles, and interviews sought to unravel the mystery of Titor, probing the depths of his predictions and the enigma of his purported time-traveling mission. As the mid-2000s approached, the fervor surrounding John Titor began to wane. The predicted events, notably the Second Civil War, failed to materialize, casting a shadow of skepticism over the entire narrative. The lack of tangible proof and the evolving nature of online discourse led many to relegate Titor to the realm of internet folklore, a captivating tale, but one lacking substantive validation. Yet despite the ebbing interest and the unanswered questions, the legacy of John Titor persisted. His story became a touchstone for discussions about the nature of time, the malleability of reality, and the enduring power of online myths. As the curtain fell on Act 2 of the John Titor saga, the stage was set for further exploration, scrutiny, and the eternal quest for truth in the digital age. Act 3, the technology of time travel, speculations, and skepticism. With the stage set by the predictions and prophecies of John Titor, Act 3 of the saga delves into the intricate details of the alleged time travel technology, inviting both awe and skepticism from an intrigued audience. Titor's narrative unfolded with vivid descriptions of his time machine, a 1987 Chevrolet Corvette retrofitted with a custom temporal displacement device. Central to this fantastical machine were dual micro-singularities, described as microscopic black holes capable of bending space-time. Titor asserted that the manipulation of gravitational fields by these singularities allowed for controlled travel through time. Enthusiasts and skeptics alike found themselves captivated by the fusion of futuristic concepts with the familiar image of a conventional car. The allure of time travel had been popularized in science fiction, but Titor's detailed technical explanations lent an air of scientific authenticity to his claims. However, Act 3 also marked the intensification of skepticism. As Titor shared schematics and explanations, the lack of tangible evidence raised eyebrows. Critics questioned the feasibility of the described technology, pointing out the absence of scientific principles that could support the existence of micro-singularities as described by Titor. Scientific communities, both amateur and professional, scrutinized Titor's claims with rigorous analysis. Physics forums and online discussion groups became battlegrounds for debates on the theoretical underpinnings of time travel and the plausibility of Titor's technological assertions. The prevailing consensus within the scientific community was one of skepticism, with many experts dismissing Titor's narrative as an imaginative construct lacking in scientific merit. The absence of empirical evidence compounded the skepticism. Titor's refusal or inability to provide concrete proof of his time-traveling exploits left a void that fueled doubt. Requests for photographs of the alleged time machine, the schematics of the temporal displacement device, or any tangible artifacts from the future remained unanswered. The burden of proof became a central theme in discussions, with skeptics contending that extraordinary claims required extraordinary evidence. As the scrutiny intensified, Titor's responses grew more cryptic. He acknowledged the skepticism surrounding his claims, but attributed the lack of evidence to the delicate nature of temporal interactions. This only served to deepen the divide between those who hung on to the mystique of John Titor and those who dismissed the entire narrative as an elaborate hoax. The very nature of time travel, as Titor described it, invoked paradoxes and quandaries. The idea of altering the past and creating divergent timelines raised questions about the stability of reality itself. Some enthusiasts embraced the complexities of temporal mechanics, finding solace in the idea that Titor's narrative added layers of depth to the exploration of time as a construct. Yet, Act 3 also marked a turning point. The initial intrigue surrounding Titor's technological revelations gradually gave way to a more critical examination. The lack of empirical evidence, coupled with the absence of predicted events, shifted the narrative from one of anticipation to one of skepticism and retrospection. As the mid-2000s unfolded, Act 3 of the John Titor saga left the online community at a crossroads. The technology of time travel, once a beacon of fascination, now faced the harsh light of skepticism. The question of whether John Titor was a legitimate time traveler or a master storyteller continued to evolve, setting the stage for the subsequent acts that would further unravel the mystery of this internet enigma. Act 4, Paradoxes and Anomalies, 2005 to 2020. In Act 4 of the John Titor saga, the narrative takes an intriguing turn as discussions shift from the specifics of time travel technology to the exploration of paradoxes and anomalies inherent in Titor's alleged journey through time. One of the central themes that emerged during this period was the notion of temporal paradoxes, situations where the very act of time travel could lead to self-contradictory outcomes. Titor's descriptions of the potential butterfly effects and the creation of alternate timelines captivated the imaginations of those following his saga. The concept of divergent realities, each shaped by different choices and events, added layers of complexity to the narrative. As enthusiasts grappled with the theoretical intricacies of time travel, skeptics pointed to the lack of real-world evidence supporting Titor's claims. The predicted events, including the Second Civil War, had not materialized, and the absence of concrete proof continued to cast a shadow over the authenticity of the entire narrative. Paradoxically, Act 4 saw a resurgence of interest in John Titor's story. Despite the skepticism, his legacy endured, becoming a symbol of the enigmatic intersection between technology, time, and storytelling. Internet forums, documentaries, and podcasts explored the paradoxes embedded in Titor's narrative, contributing to the enduring mystique of the time-traveling visitor from 2036. Anomalies within Titor's own story added another layer to the intrigue. Discrepancies in his accounts, variations in his responses to questions, and the evolving nature of his predictions became focal points for those attempting to unravel the truth. Some argued that these anomalies were indicative of the inherent complexities of time travel, while others saw them as red flags pointing to a carefully crafted fiction. The lack of a verifiable identity for John Titor remained a persistent anomaly. Despite various attempts to trace his origins, the true identity of the alleged time traveler remained elusive. Investigations into IP addresses, linguistic patterns, and historical records yielded inconclusive results, leaving researchers and enthusiasts alike with more questions than answers. As the narrative unfolded, Act 4 became a period of reflection and reassessment. The initial excitement that accompanied Titor's arrival on the internet scene had transformed into a more measured contemplation of the story's implications. The online community, once polarized between believers and skeptics, found itself navigating a nuanced landscape where the allure of the unknown mingled with a growing awareness of the narrative's inconsistencies. The broader cultural impact of John Titor became evident during this period. His story, once confined to the realms of online forums, seeped into popular culture, inspiring works of fiction, art, and even academic discussions on the nature of storytelling and belief. Titor had transcended his status as a mere internet phenomenon to become a symbol of the enduring power of myth and the ever-elusive quest for truth. Act 4 concluded with the John Titor saga, firmly embedded in the collective consciousness of the digital age. The paradoxes and anomalies woven into the narrative had become integral to its mystique, inviting continued contemplation and speculation. As the curtain fell on this act, the question of whether John Titor was a time traveler, a storyteller, or something in between lingered in the minds of those who had embarked on this temporal journey through the labyrinth of the internet. Act 5, Unraveling the Mystery, Investigations and Revelations. As Act 5 of the John Titor saga unfolds, the spotlight turns to the relentless investigations launched by both amateur sleuths and mainstream media outlets in an attempt to unveil the true identity behind the enigmatic time traveler. The desire to separate fact from fiction, to demystify the legend of John Titor, becomes a driving force that propels the narrative into new territory. Investigations into Titor's identity took various forms, ranging from the analysis of linguistic patterns in his online posts to attempts at tracing the origin of his IP address. Amateur detectives combed through archives of internet forums, searching for any hints or clues that might lead to the unmasking of the mysterious visitor from 2036. However, the quest to uncover the identity of John Titor proved elusive. IP addresses were traced to dead ends, linguistic analyses yielded inconclusive results, and attempts to correlate Titor's narrative with real-world events remained a challenge. The shroud of anonymity surrounding Titor only deepened, adding another layer to the enduring mystery. While some investigators persisted in their pursuit of the truth, skepticism regarding the legitimacy of John Titor's claims continued to grow. The lack of concrete evidence and the failure of predicted events to transpire cast a shadow over the narrative. Discussions shifted from the excitement of potential revelations to a more somber acknowledgement of the possibility that John Titor might be nothing more than an elaborate internet hoax. Simultaneously, mainstream media outlets took an interest in the Titor phenomenon. Documentaries and news reports sought to unravel the mystery, presenting the story to a broader audience. Journalists interviewed key players in the Titor narrative, from those who engaged with him on forums to experts in fields such as time travel and online subcultures. As media coverage intensified, the spotlight turned to the impact of the Titor saga on the individuals who had become entangled in its web. Those who had once believed in the possibility of time travel now faced the realization that the story might be a carefully crafted fiction. The emotional and psychological toll of this revelation added a human dimension to the narrative, highlighting the powerful influence of online storytelling on individual belief systems. Amidst the investigations and revelations, Act 5 also witnessed a shift in the online discourse surrounding John Titor. What had once been a polarized debate between believers and skeptics evolved into a more nuanced conversation. The allure of the Titor legend remained, but a growing acceptance of the narrative as a work of fiction tempered the fervor that had characterized earlier acts. The passage of time brought with it a sense of retrospection. The John Titor saga, once a dynamic and evolving narrative, now stood as a time capsule of the Internet's early years, a period when the lines between reality and fiction were more fluid, and the capacity for online communities to collectively weave complex mythologies was at its peak. As Act 5 drew to a close, the investigation into John Titor's identity remained inconclusive. The narrative had taken on a life of its own, transcending the boundaries of the digital realm to become a cultural phenomenon. The legacy of John Titor endured not only as a mystery to be unraveled, but also as a testament to the enduring fascination with the intersection of technology, time, and the boundless realms of online storytelling. Act 6, Legacy and Cultural Impact, 2020. As Act 6 unfolds, the John Titor saga transcends its origins as an internet mystery, evolving into a cultural touchstone that leaves an indelible mark on the collective consciousness. The legacy of John Titor stretches beyond the confines of online forums, resonating with a new generation and continuing to spark fascination and debate. In 2020, the Titor phenomenon takes on a life of its own, influencing various forms of media and inspiring creative works across different artistic mediums. The enigmatic time traveler becomes a character in fiction, his story woven into novels, films, and even interactive experiences. The boundaries between fact and fiction blur as Titor's narrative intertwines with the imaginations of storytellers, perpetuating the allure of the unknown. Documentaries revisit the Titor saga, exploring its cultural impact and delving into the intricacies of online subcultures. The line between belief and skepticism becomes a central theme, reflecting the complex relationship between truth and myth in the digital age. The Titor story, once confined to the niche corners of the internet, now occupies a space in mainstream discourse, symbolizing the enduring power of internet lore. Social media platforms become avenues for ongoing discussions about John Titor. Hashtags related to the time traveler trend and enthusiasts share their interpretations of the saga's significance. Memes, fan art, and speculative theories proliferate, illustrating the lasting resonance of the Titor narrative in the evolving landscape of online culture. Scholarly discussions emerge, analyzing the Titor phenomenon from various perspectives. Academics explore the psychology of online belief, the evolution of internet folklore, and the socio-cultural impact of narratives that straddle the line between reality and fiction. The Titor saga becomes a case study in the way online communities shape and perpetuate narratives, influencing belief systems and cultural phenomena. The legacy of John Titor also prompts a re-evaluation of the nature of truth in the digital age. The Titor story, whether a deliberate hoax or a genuine attempt at online performance art, becomes emblematic of the challenges inherent in navigating the vast landscape of information and misinformation on the internet. The impact of Titor on online skepticism and the development of critical thinking skills becomes a topic of discourse in educational and media literacy circles. Despite the passage of time, the question of John Titor's authenticity remains unanswered. The ambiguity surrounding his identity and the unresolved mysteries of his narrative continue to captivate the imaginations of those who encounter the story. The Titor legend, far from fading into obscurity, becomes a timeless tale, a digital myth that echoes through the corridors of the internet's history. As Act 6 draws to a close, the legacy of John Titor endures as a testament to the ever-evolving relationship between technology, storytelling, and the human thirst for the unknown. The enigma of the time traveler, whether a product of the imagination or a genuine attempt to navigate the temporal currents of the internet, becomes a symbol of the enduring power of narratives that transcend the boundaries of the digital realm. Conclusion. As the curtain falls on the six-act saga of John Titor, the story remains a compelling testament to the intricate dance between reality and fiction in the digital age. The enigmatic time traveler, whether a product of genuine temporal exploration or a masterfully crafted internet hoax, has left an enduring legacy that transcends the confines of online forums. The narrative's evolution from a niche internet mystery to a cultural touchstone underscores the profound impact of storytelling in the digital realm. John Titor's tale has become a canvas upon which creators, scholars, and enthusiasts paint their interpretations, exploring the boundaries of belief, skepticism, and the ever-elusive quest for truth. The cultural landscape of the 2020s bears the imprint of the Titor phenomenon. From documentaries dissecting the intricacies of online subcultures to scholarly discussions probing the psychology of belief, the legacy of John Titor reverberates through various facets of contemporary discourse. It prompts reflection on the nature of truth in an era saturated with information, misinformation, and the perpetual quest for meaning. The unresolved mysteries surrounding Titor's identity and the authenticity of his claims persist, inviting ongoing contemplation and speculation. The ambiguity that cloaks the time traveler adds a layer of intrigue, allowing the narrative to endure as a digital myth, a story that defies easy categorization and invites individuals to navigate the labyrinth of online storytelling with a discerning eye. As we close the chapter on the John Titor saga, we are left with more than a tale of time travel and technological mystique. It becomes a symbol of the internet's capacity to weave complex narratives that blur the lines between fact and fiction. In the ever-expanding archive of online lore, the legacy of John Titor serves as a reminder that, in the digital age, stories have the power to transcend the virtual realm and leave an indelible mark on the fabric of culture and human imagination. If you made it this far and would like to see similar content, please leave a like and be sure to follow our channel to be notified of more nocturnal content as we dive further and further into the bizarre nature of reality. Thank you for your support and sweet dreams.